When you can't pray for yourself, you need to know that you got a core group of people that can pray for you. Those are the people that you want around you when you are in a crisis.
In 2009, Robin McRae had a large tumor removed from her ovary. Nearly 2 weeks into her recovery, she began to experience complications.
The pain was so excruciating that I was buckled over. It was worse than labor pains.
Robin's appendix had ruptured, sending poisons throughout her body. Friends rushed her to the hospital for emergency surgery.
I remember going down the corridor and the physician saying, "Miss McRae, we're going to take you back into surgery."
That was the last conscious memory Robin had for nearly 6 weeks. Her organs began shutting down and she slipped into a coma.
It was heartbreaking. I mean, just really heartbreaking to see her laying like that. My God, how could this be happening when only a few weeks ago she was up moving around, and then here she is laying here with all this stuff hooked up to her.
Doctors gave her family little to no hope of survival.
Yeah, the doctors was like, my mom wasn't gonna make it. And pretty much they was talking about making the decision to cut the life support off.
They expected her to die. They were doing all they could. They said, "We're doing all we can, but I don't want you to have any false hope. We don't expect her to make it." And I would listen intelligently and give them respect, and I'd walk away and say, "Annie, whose report are you going to believe?" "I'm going to believe the report of the Lord, that she shall live and not die to declare the works of the Lord."
Annie called the 700 Club for prayer. She also led a prayer effort with Robin's church, believing for her total healing and not allowing any visitors to express doubt about her recovery.
I decided to have a password, not let anybody come in that didn't know the password. All of her friends and all of the people from the church knew the password, but just people coming in randomly just to look on her, I didn't want them in there because of the negativity.
Still, Robin remained in a coma. Her friends and family continued to ask God to bring her back.
As a child of God, we have power over all the works of the enemy. So, I used the authority that God had given me. I went to him, I said, "Lord, you said I could ask anything in your name. Lord, you said she shall live and not die." I never gave up hope. I just kept, holding on to hope and repeating scriptures.
I mean, when we couldn't say nothing else, after we done prayed and prayed all we could pray, and all you could say is, "Lord, just do it." And have the faith to believe that he'll do it, because he said he's faithful and just to do what we ask, if we ask it in his name.
It's like they kind of already knew that everything was gonna be okay, and like they knew what the results was gonna be, but they still knew that they had to pray hard.
One day, after an intense time of prayer, Annie says she saw something change in Robin's condition.
It looked like she was tussling with something, like something was holding her, and she was struggling, trying to get out of it. So whatever it was must have been broken.
Just a few days later, after nearly 6 weeks in a coma, Robin woke up. Doctors removed her breathing tube and her recovery began.
I no longer needed dialysis, so they was able to take the device off of me that they had. I am totally healed, totally healed. Like I said, I went in August 26th, I woke up October the 3rd. I actually thought it was like the same day that I went into the hospital.
She had to learn how to walk again, but says she is thankful her friends and family never gave up hope during her life and death struggle.
The prayers of the righteous availeth much. And I stand here today because you prayed, because you was a part of that. Did I want to go through what I went through? No, I didn't, but I thank God. God's ways are not our ways. God's thoughts are not our thoughts.
Robin and her family say they've seen the power of God and encourage others to keep their trust in him in the hardest times.
He showed me that he's real. Like they say, all things are possible.
God will do what he says, that I can trust him.
No matter how bleak the situation is, no matter how it looks, trust God. Take his word for what he says. If he says that he's the God that healeth you, He is the God that healeth you. When you say that somebody is near death and that they're not going to make it and man counts you out, some people think that's the final say-so. But we answer to a higher authority. He answers prayer. He answers prayer, and he answered this prayer.